Here they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to Talking Trots for another big week. And this week we have the 3-year-old Westrel Diamond Classic for the fillies. And we had early in the week the 3-year-old boys go around in Heats of the Pearl. That final will be the next Friday night. So the 3-year-old's on display at the moment. My good mate Glenn Mortimer, he's away this week. So the best sub in the business, Oli Cownie off the bench. How are you, Oli?
Great to be on. Thanks for having me on, Rads. Yeah, no, been a really interesting week of racing the last week in Perth. So looking forward to tomorrow night. It looks like a really good card across the whole night of racing.
It sure does, and highlighted by the 3-year-old Diamond Classic and a good crop of 3-year-old fillies. Very even.
Yeah, it certainly is. There could definitely be a few winners in that race, but obviously Ruby Lavera, she's come up with the good draw there, and she's likely to go around a pretty short price favourite. But we've seen Raynette go so well, and she obviously won her heat quite nicely. She was quite a long time between runs there and was good enough to win. And the other two fillies in the race ran really well there as well. Ruby Lou was a really good run, really unlucky, and obviously Poppy on the Beach, she hasn't come up with the best draw. So we'll be a really interesting race there tomorrow night.
Is there anyone driving better than Trent Wheeler at the moment?
No, he's certainly giving them every chance, isn't he, Trent? And he's been a beneficiary of Junior being away for a couple of weeks on a trip there. So he might want him to be going on more holidays in the near future.
Yeah, no, he's certainly driving very well, and he drove a winner Friday night as well. And but all honours last week to the combination of Michael Young and Emily Savalco. They had a big night.
It was a huge night, and Emily obviously drove 4 winners, and it was a metro treble for Michael Young. So, really, really impressive there. And there was some really terrific drives by Emily on the night too to get a few of those horses home.
Yeah, I think she said on social media it was a good night in the office, and it certainly was. We have our special guest this week is the informed trainer Michael Young, who's the state's leading trainer, the metro leading trainer. It's 5 months. He's still in front, defying some of the big guns with the big ammunition, but they're still to come. But it's showing how good he is at the moment and how well he's done the first 5 months.
Yeah, he's flying at the moment. I think he's about 10 wins ahead of Aiden DeCampo on the premiership table. So he'll surely be bolstering his stock in the next few months and trying to take that out.
Well, we're about to speak to him, but before we do, it was a big night for Michael and Emily. Emily 4 wins, Michael 3, and one of the wins was the very impressive Montana DJ. Here he is defeating Vegas Strip in the fast-finishing draws of Lincoln.
Montana DJ, is it Emily again? I think it is. She's dashed away 27-8 and Montana DJ exploded away. Vegas Strip running on, getting out and flashing, but Montana DJ has got the break from Vegas Strip and Jaws of Lincoln, and Montana DJ walking but wins from Vegas Strip.
Yeah, it was a good win, Montana DJ. Great drive and a very good training performance. His trainer joins us on the line, Michael Young. Michael, welcome to the program.
Afternoon, Rads. Ollie, how are we?
Yeah, really good. And I'll tell you what, it's probably just about Montana DJ's best performance since you've got him in the West.
I probably liked his last win better. Time he led, he copped a lot of Hillview Bondi pressure, I think it was, and went 55, and he won pretty nicely that night. So, yeah, he's a bit of a funny horse. He's got a lot of ability. He's just got a stinky attitude, that's all.
He's probably just about the best bred horse in the state as well. Out of multiple Oaks winner in One Dream, who was a champion New Zealand filly by Captain Treacherous, so he lacks nothing in breeding.
Nah, someone must have told him too, because he just lives on that. So, he's got above average ability. He's just he doesn't apply himself overly hard. That's all.
Speaking of good winners, you've just come off the golf course and you scored a pretty big victory there.
Yep, me and Hayden teamed up. Bit of a dream team. Took on Betsy. Betsy thought he was right in it and gave us five shots head start, and we beat him by 11. So, and that's not even including the 5. So it was a fair old shellacking.
You're in form at the moment, aren't you?
Well, we'll take them when we can, and we'll brag about them when we do too.
Now, getting back to the racetrack, Montana DJ, he's drawn one tomorrow night. Tab Touch have put him up. They put him up $3. It was knocked off straight away. He's now into $2.30 favourite. Tooraloo on his immediate outside at $2.90. Skyloo $5.50 and Artie by the Seaside outside of the 6 runners at $3.50. How do you think he'll go tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Like I said last time he led, he copped all kinds of pressure from Hillview Bondi, and he still won really comfortably. Like I said, he is quite a nice horse. That's the only time he's ever led for me, and I think he's the type of horse that definitely go better in front because he tries a bit harder. But I'm pretty confident he can get the job done. And even last week, they only kind of got so close to him at the end because he led him. He was pricking his ears over the line. He certainly wasn't all done. He's just that type of horse.
He obviously has pretty good gate speed on his day, but Gully Gum is very fast. Do you think he has enough gate speed to hold up in the early stages? Yeah,
I do. He's probably been getting pretty keen on the gate lately, DJ, as well. He's been wanting to run it a bit. So, like last week, Emily said he wanted to come out pretty solid, but obviously Hoppies was going to blast out. So he came out under a hold, but she said he felt like he would have come out a lot quicker if she wanted him to. So, Gully Gum's got a bit, but don't know it could cross him, and don't know if it's worth them even trying the way the race maps up. So, either way, I think we'll see DJ in front.
All right, then we move to the next race, which is race number 7, and Cushla McRee, who's owned by your victorious golfing partner in Hayden King, drawn one again, and geez, she's finding some form now, Cushla McRee.
Yeah, she is. She's a bit of a funny horse. She had me scratching my head 2 Fridays back when she just seemingly dropped out for no reason, and then just didn't really know what was going on there. Like, her work had been good enough for what she does, and her racing just wasn't matching up. So thought we'll just throw her in the deep end, and I made her track work with Penny on the Tuesday, and probably run a lot faster than she has ever in her life. And then she come out on Friday and went really well. So maybe that's a trick to her, just stop being nice to her.
Are you confident that she'll run out the 2500? She's obviously been off speed over that trip in Perth, but hasn't been out in front. Do you think she'll run it out?
She strikes me as the type of horse that it should suit down to the ground, really, but not sure. Like, all the stands that she's been disappointing in have been 2500, but she's also done a fair bit of chasing in them, getting around the field. So, her 2500 stand form isn't great, but like I said, she strikes me as the type of horse that should enjoy that distance. But I guess we'll see tomorrow night.
All right, the trot up in race number 9. How do you see him going? 420. He's in the market again, but up against the old stager and patched.
I think it's sending me grey, that trotter. Having all kinds of troubles with it, but its performances have probably been above and beyond, but its trotting is very poor. So we changed a few things for the last run at Pinjar on Monday, and she missed away at the start, which is what it is, and then she copped a bit of a check at the winning post the first time, and that cost her a bit more ground. But apart from that, she seemed to trot well under her own steam. So maybe we're on the right path with her. But the times that she's been putting on the board herself in these runs where she's been galloping and giving them big head starts and coming 5 and 6 wider above average. So I would think that she could win a race like this if she just trots the time she's been running, that's for sure.
Fingers crossed she starts trotting, or we might need to send her across the road to Belmont. You got a couple of runners in the last race, Trixie Dora and Toby George, who both raced at Pinjarra on Monday, and both were in the placings, with Toby George a pretty impressive winner there. What do you think of their chances?
Trixie's still just learning what it's all about. She doesn't really know that she's a racehorse yet, but I think her ability's okay. This race looks probably a bit tough for her tomorrow night, but we'll just treat it as a bit more experience. I didn't really want to have her going around against the boys, but kind of just using her to hold the field up for the other fella. So he's been battling to get races, and they're both Steves. So while she's enjoying a bit of experience, she's helping get the races up for Toby. So yeah, we'll just drive her quiet and look to see her hitting the line. But she seems to have a bit of speed and a bit of strength to go with it. So I think she'll be all right in time. But just learning what it's all about at the moment.
You mentioned Steve Johnson, who is one of our leading breeders, and it's good that he's sending you a couple of horses.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's always got at least one here. Has done for a while. So at the moment he's got 3, and they're all pretty nice. So yeah, and he's very easy to train for, and he's a nice fella. So I enjoy having 1 or 2 here for him, and it's good to get a bit of success for him too.
Yeah, one of your stable stars alongside Alexandra the Great is going around at Narrogin on Saturday. Penny Black, with Alexandra the Great not going around this weekend, she'll have to try and get a win for the team there to hold up your premiership hopes. She's in a pretty tough race, though, up against G. Hayes Sport. How do you see her going there?
Yeah, probably can't beat G. Hayes Sport. He's obviously a top liner over here, and the mares always seem to struggle a bit against the top liner boys. So I don't think we can beat it, especially the way it's drawn out. Maybe we could give it a shake if we were able to find the lead, but that doesn't look likely in this race on Saturday. So it'll still be a good race, and I'd say Penny will be maybe up outside it at some stage. Hopefully if we don't win, we're at least running second to it, which looks relatively likely, I think.
All right, and can we get a couple of updates on different horses, Michael? Your 2 2-year-olds that were place getters in the Sales Classic, Cease to React and Butter Me Up, where are they at the moment?
They started track work again last week, so probably about 4 weeks away. Both doing really well. They both seem to have shot up when they had a break. They've both grown a bit and filled out a bit. So I'm looking forward to those 2 coming back. I've actually got a pretty good hand with the 2-year-olds this year. I'm pretty lucky with those 2 and Toby George as well. So these features at the end of the year is something to look forward for me at the moment. I think I've got a really strong hand to play in them.
And the Sweet Lou mare, the one that rips and tears, is she on the comeback trail?
Fly by Lou.
That's it.
Yep, she's almost ready for trials. So,
okay. Has her matters improved at all, or she's still
they
headstrong?
Have, and that scares me. So I don't know what to expect when we go to trials. She's actually a relatively normal horse at the moment. So whereas last time we never really got to work her properly because you couldn't. So everything at the moment seems really good. I'm actually excited about getting her to the races because her ability is anything. It was just her attitude, but she could be she could be a really special one if she behaves. That's for sure.
You've obviously got one of the top mares already in the state, Penny Black, and she's been fantastic for you. But you've also got another mare that's coming through, Heavenly Gypsy, that might be in some of those bigger mares races. How's she coming along?
Yeah, she's working quite nice. She's kind of on the same programming as Fly By Lou, so they'll both be ready to go to trials at the same time, and that's probably only a week or two away. So yeah, looking forward to getting both of those to trials and then to the races. I think both of them have got plenty of wins up their sleeve.
All right, mate. Thanks for taking the time out after your big win on the golf course to come and chat to us. And good luck tomorrow night. You're in great form at the moment. Still defying him. Last time we spoke to you, you thought you mightn't hold on to the lead in the state premiership for much longer, but you're still defying them.
Yeah, it's still up there. I think it's all these fortnightly Calabaran trips is keeping me in the game. So
well, you're still leading the Metro as well. So
I actually bought one for the next Calabaran trip. So hopefully that's another notch on the table.
Well, if you're not there, you're not winning. So you may as well, if you're going to take one, you may as well take a couple. But you're still leading the Metro as well, which must be really pleasing for you as well.
Yeah, it is. I've got a really good team of horses. I've got a really good team of owners, and I've got a good team of staff at the moment. So when you've got all three of those, it certainly makes it a lot easier for the wins to tick over.
All right, mate. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, guys.
There we go. There is Michael Young, and in great form.
Yeah, and he's got another good set of horses in tomorrow night, so he could just add to that premiership lead.
Yeah, and always getting horses in and turning them over, and it sounds like he's got a good team about to come back in as well. Those 2-year-olds go very well.
Yeah, they do. I think they'll be winning a few races, all of those 2-year-olds, and he's got a few more older horses from New Zealand coming through as well, so there's plenty there for the rest of the year.
There sure is, and doing a really good job, and obviously Emily's driving really well, and Junior is back in. He'll be refreshed.
Yeah,
after a couple of weeks away.
He's probably a little bit worried about losing his his position as number one driver after Emily was able to drive 4 on Friday night the other day. So
yep, yes, indeed, and it's he's no doubt he's looking forward to getting back tomorrow night. He's the guest tomorrow on the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview at 8 a.m. So Glenn Moore and the boys, Tim, Matt, and Trent, doing the Gloucester Park preview tomorrow morning for Retrovision. Now, this segment for us is brought to you by Loans 123. Car loans, debt consolidation, all your personal finance. The man to see is Stevie Sell at loans123.com.au, or the very easy to remember number 1-800-100-100. Still doing the things the banks can't, and he's a great man. Steve Sell supports us here at on the show, and also wider on Tab Radio, and you can hear him sponsor plenty of the segments on the breakfast show, and he's a good man. All right, a bit of an issue this week with the Harvey system going down.
Yeah, it was chaos, wasn't
HRA,
it?
Yeah, and getting the results up and all those type of things.
Wasn't sure if we'd even have meetings on the weekend through all that chaos, but luckily it was all sorted out and everything's okay now.
It's amazing technology. It's great when it works.
Yeah.
When it doesn't, it just brings us to a standstill.
Oh, it's incredible because it was obviously nationwide and there just seemed like widespread panic and no one really knew what was going on and everything was delayed. I've never seen anything like it.
No, so at least we got the fields out and even better, we got the Tab Touch markets went up today. I thought there might have been delay and we mightn't have got them till tomorrow morning, but they're all up and ready to go.
I've done a very good job to turn that around so quickly, and looks like there's been some early fluctuations in some of the races, so people are keen to bet.
Yeah, already some corrections. Now, in the first tomorrow night, Alta Tribute, hasn't this horse come back well?
Oh, it's come back unbelievably well, and you know, Friday looked at another really big test because he'd probably come up against some weaker fields potentially before that in his 2 races at Pinjarra, where he won so impressively, and on Friday he really just dominated. Once he got out, he sprinted hard and sprinted clear, and he was one of those 4 winners for inform Emily Savalco. So
Well, he goes from barrier 1 to barrier 9, but the price has gone from double figures to almost to $1.55 now on the market. Open 134 altitude. Now he got out to 160, back into 155 at the moment. Up against a very nice field though. Lion Queen, who we know how good she is, she's pretty solid in the market at 460, and Vegas Strip's been well supported. $8 they put up into 440 already, so a correction there.
And he was a real flashing lights run last week behind Montana DJ. He just didn't have the best of luck there, Vegas Strip. He took the sit in the early stages on Hoppy's way, and once he got clear, he really powered to the line there late, and potentially, he might be better for that run there. So you'd think he'd be pretty hard to beat there on Friday.
Well, we just spoke to Michael Young and Penny Black. We discussed her in really good form at the moment, Penny Black, but she has to take on some really nice horses in the Narrogin Cup on Saturday night.
Yeah, she's been terrific this time in. She hasn't had the best of luck in a few of her races. She obviously made a mistake in one of those races and was left ODM for the feature, and she just did too much work there, but she's really come back strongly, and that win on Friday was really impressive in the Group 3. She was made to earn it. She wasn't gifted the top in the early stages, and she just was too good for them over Little Darling, who's been absolutely terrific this time in. And as you mentioned, she takes on a really strong field. G. Hayes Port is probably the best horse she's ever raced. He's been awesome recently in those big feature races, so he'll certainly be very hard to beat there. But you'd think Penny Black would be very hard to beat for that second placing.
All right, and let's take a break. As we go to the break, let's listen to Penny Black taking out the Wasba Breeders' Stakes.
7-4 Little Darling has raced up to Penny Black, who's fighting hard, and then Nullarbor Navajo. The rest can't get there. Penny Black in front from Little Darling and Nullarbor Navajo. Penny Black is pulling out plenty for Michael Young and Emily Savalco, and they win the WASPA. It's Penny.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Join in as well, then Ideal Muscle in the straight. Alta Tribute has raced up and taken the lead. Lasaka is giving chase. Alta Tribute in front. Emily's got the big double tonight. It's Alta Tribute clear from Lusaka, and Alta Tribute goes home to win by 2.5 metres to Lusaka.
Really good win for Alta Tribute in the Allwood Stud 4 and 5-year-old championship Group 3. It was a Group 3 double to Emily Savalco after she took out the Breeders' Stakes with Penny Black, and Alta Tribute 3 on the bounce, Ollie, and he's come back in good form, a homebred for the Halls.
Yeah, he is. He's flying. He was so impressive in those couple of races at Pinjarra, dominating and winning, and then he stepped up on Friday and he was just even more impressive there. He raced away and beat a really, really nice horse in Lusaka, and obviously the third horse, he's never been better, was so impressive in the stand start the week prior, and it was just really, really impressive, Alta Tribute, and he's obviously a 4-year-old, and it was a 4 and 5-year-old race, so impressive win.
Yeah, big, strong-looking fella, like a lot of the Alta Cristianos, and he's raced like it. 3 out of 3. I think the senior thought the Black Flash was the one to beat and the winner, but Alta Tribute had the good run behind him and got the cash.
Yeah, obviously the 35.9 lead time played into that a little bit, but the race really opened up for that peg line, and he was able to get out and he flashed past them and won pretty impressively. And I think he's a pretty good front runner too, Alta Tribute, so he's certainly got a few strings to his bow.
All right, he was around at the $4 last week. He was inside. He was like drawing the pole. This week he's drawn the outside. He's $1.55 with Tab Touch. Opened up a lot shorter. Open a $30.34. He's out to $1.55. Lion Queen and Vegas Strip. Vegas Strip's had the best support, $8 into $4.40. So it's a really good quality race to open up the card.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's certainly a few chances there, and probably the $1.55. He was so impressive last week, but there are certainly a few horses in underneath him that might want to be kicking up this week and trying their luck out in front. I thought Pocket the Change even was a terrific effort there behind Acushna McCree last week, and she did plenty of work and wasn't too far away at the finish. So, yeah, certainly a few chances in that race, I'd say.
All right, this segment's brought to you by Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work. Well over 700 stockists nationwide, and they are designed for comfort, durability and choice, backed by a 30-day guarantee, which, as Mortz always says, is not needed. You can view the whole range of premium work boots at steelblue.com, and our main man, Ross Fitzgerald, will be here tomorrow night at Gloucester Park, cheering on Ruby Lavera and Poppy on the Beach in the Westrel 3-year-old Diamond Classic tomorrow night.
And they certainly look hard to beat, don't they? Well, Ruby Lavera particularly, but Poppy on the Beach she's been really good in her races as well, but just hasn't fared as well at the barrier. So
yes, well, it's going to be a good race, and hopefully we can find you a winner in the meeting. And we're about to be joined by our form expert, Scott Bomber Hill, Gloucester Park tomorrow night, the first at 5:25. 10 races on the card. Good to see 10 races. Good to see the 2-year-old hold up as well. And as I said, the feature is the Westrel 3-year-old Diamond Classic. As I say hello to Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, tough week last week. Hopefully this week's a little bit more kind to us.
One of the hardest weeks I've ever seen at Gloucester Park last week, Rad. So, good to put a whole 10 event card behind us and move on this week.
Yeah, Oli won a Group 3 and still was complaining about it.
Yeah, it was that tough a night, wasn't it? I couldn't tip a winner. It was just a horrendous night. So, we'll put that behind us, Bomber, and we'll tip the card here on Friday.
Now, bet responsibly. Bet responsibly. But you know what they say: money lost, nothing lost; confidence lost, everything lost.
Yeah.
So we're full of confidence going into tomorrow night. But as we say, bet responsibly, Oli. You know that.
Yep.
It is Westrel night, and the first race we're going to look at, it is the Westrel Plantation Timber Shutters. They're a great product from Westrel. Albert Walmsley and Julie going to be there. Got a few runners tomorrow night, and going to be on track. And it is race number 3 we're going to kick off with. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market for the third. We've got Apologise at $11. Beyond Bling, $26. Akuto at $6. Bet on the River, a winner last week, $81. Soundwave, $41. Kim's Boulder, $11 to $6. So a correction there. Curious Boy, $9.50. Dawson, $3.10. Well supported, $2.35 holds the call. Great Boulder. Outside the front line is at $3.60 to $4.40. Allwood Mac at $34. Pocketful of Opals at $61. And Classic Choice at $51. Bomber. Looks to be a pretty tough race to start off for us. Which way are we going?
Yeah, I think Akuto's the leader here. He loves the lead. He loves the mile. And I think if he does find the front, he's going to take no end of beating. He can run a 156 and change here over the mile at his best. And he's been pretty competitive of late over the longer trips, which he doesn't really compete as well in. So I think he's going to give us a massive side if he can cross the 2 inside, which I expect him to.
Yeah, it's certainly an even race, isn't there? A few chances there. And I think Allwood Mac's going particularly well, but a bit of a tricky draw there inside back row. How many units for us there, Bomber?
Just the 1 unit. I think he'll be around the sort of $6 or $8 mark by the time they let the gate go, and I think he can give us a bit of a sight.
All right, so you're currently $6 with Tab Touch, but a 1 unit bet to kick off the night over the mile. If you can find the winner, find the leader, I think it's a big help over the shorter course. All right, the next race we're going to look at is race number 4. It's the Westrel Shade Track Outdoor Blinds over the 2130 metres, and as we have a look at the Tab Touch market, we've got Auckland Jet. He's at $51. Heavenly Wage at $13. Flirter Marquee at $61. He's never been better. $2.20 into $2.05. He's the fave. Quinton at $9. The Little Master, $13. Major Freeway, $61. My Watch List, $4.80. Ideal Muscle at $6. Then we've got Call Me What You Want on the back line at $34. Dark Eyes at $12. And Blame It on the Night at $21. He's never been better. Well supported, 220 into 205 is the fave, Bomber. Which way are you going?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen. He's never been better here. I think he's been racing really well. He's had little luck and had to do plenty of work in his races, and I think he can work to the front here, and he'll relish being on the pegs around here in this sort of class. So, yeah, I think he deserves his chance. I think he'll lead and win.
Yeah, he's certainly been knocking on the door, hasn't he? He's never been better, just hasn't had the best of luck in his races. Thought Auckland Jet was a pretty big price. He's a pretty capable horse on his night. How many units are we going? He's never been better there, Bomber.
Yeah, 3 Oli. I think he'll lead, and he hasn't had that luxury this campaign. So I think this is his race.
All right, 205. Do we think the black odds will hold up, or do you reckon he could start in the tomato sauce?
Yeah, I've got him shorter, especially the parade ring interviews will tell the story. But I think he will find the front, and if that looks like being the case through the interviews, he'll start shorter for sure.
All right, time to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to have a look at the feature race of the night, which is the Westrel 3-year-old Diamond Classic, as well as we'll deep dive into another race. But as we take a break, Bet on the River, 5-year-old now. I reckon he won the first 2-year-old race of his season at Pinjarra. Bet on the River.
He's just taken a while to get going, but he's really flying now. He seems to be going particularly well. There was a race he definitely should have won. I think it was at Northam and Alta Freeway. He inconvenienced him, ran into him, and Bet on the River was really unlucky there behind the leader. And he showed the other day that's just a position he loves. He was able to come off the back of Minor Catastrophe and won really impressively there.
All right, as we go to the break, let's listen to Tom Nally for trainer Matthew Scott getting Bet on the River home in the second event last week.
Joey James in the straight though, and Bet on the River has raced up and shot to the lead from Minor Catastrophe. Pocket Full of Opals is down the outside, running home gamely, followed by Joey James, but Bet on the River's in front, and Bet on the River beat home Pocket Full of Opals, and third home is Minor Catastrophe.
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision, like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
On the outside is coming after them quickly. Ambitsayer Gallop, the favourite, and Cans Boulder has raced up to He's Never Been Better. Late on the sea, Major Freeway, Follow Rock and Roll. In front, Cans Boulder, Follow Rock and Roll. Flies, gets there right on the line. Follow Rock and Roll from Cans Boulder. And third.
What a drive from Trent Wheeler. He picked his way through the field with Follow Rock and Roll. Was last on the pegs.
A few of the rank outsiders ended up fighting out the finish. It really was a last man standing, and one of those horses is one of the first races tomorrow night, a Major Freeway, and he looks like he's going to go around a pretty big price again.
Yeah, it was. They were spread across the track. The first 5 horses across the line, there was about a half length between them, and Trent Wheeler picked his way through and was through the guts of them.
It really was a terrific drive, and in that type of race, you've got to be saving all the ground, because there was certainly a few coming at the finish there, and the drive just won him the race in the end. He saved all the ground and was too good.
He sure did. All right, this segment is brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist, where RAC members receive an additional 5% every day, and that's off the best price. So make sure you're an RAC member, go in, get the 5%, and it is all the electrical appliances that you love. And our man Mortz will be back in the next couple of weeks to be back on the show, but he'll be here tomorrow night because he's got a couple in the next race we're going to look at, and it is the Westrel 3-year-old Diamond Classic Final, $50,000, 2130 metres, and the heats were 9 days ago, and they were dominated by a couple of trainers, including Mortz's in Justin Prentice. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. And it is Gelissimo Amal at $31. Ruby Lavera is the favourite, pretty solid at 2 Zon or $1.50. Ruia at $26, in from 41. Wicked Lover at 13. Shikovi Windchime at $151. Head Office at $151. Rayonette for Trent Wheeler, the informed Trent Wheeler, $5. Delulu, $12. And Poppy on the Beach outside of the front line at $12. And then you got She Can Play at $41. and Ruby Lou at $15. The reserves are still... Oh, and also Our Rich Cargo at $51. The reserves are still in the field at the moment. They're both at 101. All right, Ruby Lavera for Justin Prentice, Mortz, Fitzy and the whole team is the favourite at 150. Bomber, which way are you going?
Yeah, really good race, I think, Rads. But I thought we could have a place bet here. The other Ruby Lou from 11, she gets a lovely ride through here from the back row, I think, and I can't see her landing worse than 1x2. And, these high-dollar races generally ensure a pretty good speed. So I think she'll follow that through pretty well. And with a couple of the big guns looking to engage at some point, she could be the beneficiary of that. And I thought she was a nice place bet from a really good trailing draw.
She certainly was very unlucky in that heat, and with any luck, you'd think she would have taken out that race behind Raynette there. Just was nowhere to go. How many units for her, Bomber?
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Ollie, and that's the sort of lead that I've taken. So, yeah, I thought a 2-unit place bet. She's a massive price, I think.
Yeah, she's $2.75 the place, $15 the win, $2.75 the place. So 2-unit place bet, and she has been in really good form, Ruby Lou, and if the speed's on, they're certainly going to know she's in the race. The final race we're going to look at is race number 7. And the favourite is a mare we've been talking a bit about throughout the show, including our guest in Akushla McCree, and she opens up at 320. Shakovi Windstorm at 151, Blazing Reactor at 380, Better's Pride at 550, Scratch the 5, Spyglass at 390, Menimshah at 650, and Star Casino at $8. This is a really even race. We've got 6 of the 7 runners under double figures, the favourite at 320. Bomber, how do you work out race number 7?
Yeah, pretty tough one, but Akushla McCree, she's as tough as old boots, this mare, and I'm just hoping she can do enough to keep her feet underneath at the release. There's a couple of with really good speed outside of her, but if she can hold up, she'll be incredibly hard to roll. She did all the work when she led here 2 starts ago, and not even Scooter B could run her down on that occasion. And I think it can be run and one at the start here if she can keep her legs underneath. And I suppose we can leave Junior to make sure that happens. So I think she leads. She's going to be very hard to beat at Akushla McCree.
Hayden King will certainly be pleased to hear that. She does seem to have very good gate speed, so it'd certainly take a very fast horse to get past her off the gate. How many units for her, Bomber?
Yeah, she is a quick beginner, Ollie. I agree that the 3 and the 4 also have really good speed, but Junior, he can time them pretty well from the inside. So I think she's well worth a 2-unit bet. If she leads, we're going to be pretty confident, I think.
All right, and the 25-36 probably suits her as well.
Absolutely, she'll be toughing it out as good as any.
Yeah, it sounds like Michael was quite confident she'd run out the trip, and she really does.
That's unusual, Michael, to be confident.
Yeah, she does look like she's like quite a tough horse, and she'll keep on kicking. And beating Scooter B last week was just so impressive, knowing the raps that the whole stable has on him.
That is absolutely correct. Now, Bomber, no multi for us this week.
Yeah, found it a little bit hard. I was struggling to come up with a 4. I don't know if that's been battered around a bit after last week, Rads, or what the go is there. But I think we'll give the multi a miss this week and aim up again next week.
That's right, mate. I'm sure we've found plenty of winners, and we'll be bouncing back this week anyway. Bomber, thanks for your time, and we'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you. There is Scott Bomber Hill. As we time to take a break, we've been talking about Akushla McCree all night with Michael, talking about Hayden King. Let's go back to last week, and she was $15, the big Vincent mare. Scooter B was the short price favourite, but she proved too strong in the end. Here is Akushla McCree taking out last week's 8th event.
At the change, and further back is Quinton in the straight though, and Scooter B has raced up on the outside of Akushla McCree trying to respond. It's Scooter B and Akushla McCree. Akushla McCree fights hard, kicks back strongly, and Akushla McCree for Michael Young, Hayden King, and Emily gets 4. Akushla McCree has won.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Sorts of trouble, but Paint the Pallet has raced up on the outside as Seaside Magic takes the lead. Running on Captain Paprika at a big price, but it's Paint the Pallet in front of Seaside Magic near the line, and Paint the Pallet has won from Seaside Magic. Bolt is third and fourth.
That was Paint the Pallet in the Team Bond 3-year-old Pearl Classic Heat. Justin Prentice trained, and Trent Wheeler a double in the heat for Trent. It's owned by Trots End. And was a really good performance. Was the slowest heat, but Ollie, pretty impressive off a really slow lead time first quarter. To come from second last is pretty good.
Really impressive there. Obviously, Seaside Magic got away with a fair bit on the front end, and Trent had to come right off the track widest. And, you know, it looked like he had a pretty tough task there to try and reel in that leader, but he loomed up to them and he just kept fighting, and he took the lead and was too good, and there was a pretty decent gap back to third as well. So suggests he might be a pretty nice horse there, Paint the Pallet. Yeah, no,
Justin's always had a big rap on him. And when I spoke to Will after the race the previous week when he ran third behind Cyclone Geordie, Will said, geez, I like this 3-year-old. He was strong through the line even though they were in quick sectionals. So that was good. The other Pearl Heat winners were Belly Up for Bond and for Team Bond and Denny Roberts, defeating Elite Fleet, Major Disco and Mr. Moonwalker. And I'm Massimo, who is a Victorian bred, bought at the nutrient sale over there for Justin Prentice again, and Trent Wheeler, defeating Captain Sterling, who was really gallant in defeat. He's got to be a big player in the final, the better side, and when in Vegas actually found the line pretty strong as well. So it's going to be a good Pearl Classic, which is Friday week.
Well, it certainly is. Some of those horses, they look like they'll be really, really nice horses going into the future there. So it's certainly a strong bunch. Belly Up will be really hard to beat. And Captain Sterling, yeah, as you said, he was so impressive there. So I really do think there's plenty of chances, and it'll all come down to who draws the best gate.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Trots End, the filly we bought at the sale, she was all sold now, which is really good. She's a Sweet Lou filly. But we bought the full brother to Ideal Beach. And I think we've got 2 shares left in him, which is 4,900, I think, for 5% for the first 12 months. So he's gone pretty quick as well. So there's only 2 shares left in him. So if you're interested in getting into ownership, you can do so with Trots In with no further payments for the first 12 months. That's just the 5%, and that's breaking in everything. And did you like the orange caps on?
It looked terrific on Hayden King there. He was really parading it around, and it looked great. And
orangey's colour.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. It goes with his tan.
Yeah, indeed. The great man Hayden King. All right, this segment's brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. Got a great range of new cars, a great range of used cars. And as Mortz always says, the service is impeccable. The after service is impeccable. And whilst you're buying, they'll even throw in a cup of coffee as you're looking over the cars. So go and see Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Roads. All right, we've only got the one meeting on the provincials this week, Ollie. It's at Narrogin Saturday night, but it is the Narrogin Cup. And the first race is at 5:53. There is 7 races, and the Narrogin Cup, $35,000 listed classic, comes up at race number 5. And you also got to look at Albion Park for us. But Narrogin, as there's only the one meeting this weekend, apart from Gloucester Park, you got to give us 3 tips.
Yeah, well, it looks a really nice little card though. It's only 7 races, but there is a bit of quality there, and obviously we've got that Narrogin Cup to look forward to. Looks like it's going to be a terrific race for the placings potentially, because G Sport really does look a standout off his 2 runs in the big races, the Fremantle Cup and the Nullarbor. But yeah, there's some other good races on the card. I thought in race 3, You Better Follow Me, this landed in the stable of Ryan Bell last start for the first time, and was a really impressive winner there at Kellerberrin, and opened up and won by 15 metres. There was a dominant winner and ran some pretty slick time, got home in 29.8, 28.8 and 28.4 on the way home. So he really does look a horse that's on the way up there, and he draws the back row on Saturday. So hopefully we get a slightly better price as a result. But I do think it actually might be his best pattern there, being sat up and safe for one run at them. So I think he's going to be really hard to beat there, however it plays out. And yeah, and Liam Elliott, he's driving really well as well. So I'm sure he'll give it every chance. So hopefully we can kick things off in race 4 with number 10, You Better Follow Me. And then on to race 6. There was a horse here that was really impressive last start, and I think we can have something on it to place here in race 6. Number 3, Oceanfront, was sitting on the leader's back there, and in a nice enough race at Gloucester Park, was sitting on the back of a horse that's shown a bit of ability in Spirit of Whitby, and a few other nice enough horses in that race, like Ruby Lou, who's going to be hard to beat in one of the big races tomorrow night. Oceanfront powered over the top to score, and I think can probably get to the front here and take a sit on one of the better chances there in Captain's Creek or Boy Blue, depending on who gets there first. And Oceanfront should be really hard to beat for the placings there. Abby Vidovich is driving in terrific form as well, so I'm sure she'll give it every chance. And it looks, a really good 1/9 type Richie Bell bet.
1/9?
Yeah, well, I don't really know if it can beat those two better chances, but pretty confident that she can run a place.
That's the biggest ratio I've heard, but we'll take it. But Bob Milltop's in really good form at the moment. He's stable, absolutely flying.
Blazing Reactors in terrific form, obviously.
Gully Gum.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. Gully Gum really has been quite impressive. His last few starts, he was sort of seemingly hit a peak, and he wasn't quite up to that Metro level. But this time in, he's really stepped up, and that win was just dominant when he found the front. He never looked like getting beaten. I think he started about 70-1. So if you found him, you did quite well out of that. For our last one, we'll have to wait to the last race on the night. Green Destiny, I think this horse is first up from a spell, but looks really well placed in a 0-1 win race. Terry Ferguson takes over the training of this horse, and draws a really good gate in gate 2 for the informed Emily Savalco, who drove 4 winners last Friday night. So she's certainly driving well at the moment, and I think she can get to the front there, rate it really well, and should just give enough of a kick to hold on. I think it looks a very winnable race for Grin Destiny to finish off.
All right, so the 3 are race 3, number 10, You Better Follow Me for Ryan Bell, Lee and Elliott. We then move to race 6, number 3, Oceanfront for Bob Millsop and Abby Vidovich. And race 7, the last race on the card, number 2, Grin Destiny for Terry Ferguson and the informed Emily Savalco. All right, Albion Park, the Creek in Brisbane. There's another big card there, another 10 races on Saturday night. What have you got for us at Albion Park?
Yeah, it won't make us wait too long there on Saturday night. I've got one for us in the first race. I think Apollo Dreams is racing in terrific form at the moment. He was really impressive to win 2 in a row there, and was going for 3 wins on the bounce last start, and he just bumped into a couple of really smart horses. The Janitor took out that race, and the Janitor is going to be, I think, one of the better chances in the Rising Sun later this year. So he's a really smart horse, and certainly third place to those two is no knock on Apollo Dreams. I thought that was a terrific effort, and he looks to have landed in a race here where he could potentially use his very good gate speed to get to the front. Thought Ironclad was pretty disappointing last start, and he got off the gate really slowly. So I think Apollo Dreams can get around him early and can really take some catching on the front end there. It really does look a suitable race for him. And then we're off to the very last race on the card. So we've got to wait all night for our second bet. But this is one we were with the other day on an each-way basis, and Golden Sunset was in that race too, and Golden Sunset took on a couple of the best trotters in the country and did start in the market, but she made a break behind Kiang Zahara, and Susan is her name. But Zealous Spur, he looks to have found a very suitable race here. He's been super his last 3 races. He was a very impressive winner 3 back, and he's since run 2 really good placings, and he looks to have drawn a really good gate here. I think he can use his very good gate speed to find the front, and at the moment he's 275, and I think that's a pretty good quote. So happy to be with him.
All right, bookends the card at Albion Park Race 1, number 2, Apollo Dreams for Mark Dux and Matty Nielsen. And in the last race, number 10, number 3, Zealous Spur for the Dixons, Grant and Trista, about 275 for the trotter. And, yeah, when you tipped him last start, he gave a good sight, led and gave a good sight up the straight.
I really thought he'd be able to hold on there after leading, but there certainly was a very big gap to third in that race. And the winner of the race, Golden Sunset's also a really nice trotter. So, he's flying at the moment. Zealous Burn, nearly career best form, and he's an older horse now. So they've done a fantastic job with him, the Dixon team.
All right, that just about wraps us up, mate. Thanks for filling in to Mortz. Actually, Mortz might be away next week as well, so we might get you back in.
Oh, very good.
That's okay.
It's been a great show. We've got through plenty of ground, haven't we? And really good to speak to Michael Young.
Even spoke about golf. didn't get onto AFL or rugby league, which is okay. We've previewed the Diamond Classic. Next week will be the Pearl Classic meeting that we're going to preview. So Team Bond Pearl Classic, and it looks to be a really nice race from the heats. There's a number of horses that could, depending on the barrier draw, are going to play a big part.
Oh, they're the best types of races, aren't they? There'll be a bit of speed on in the early stages, and the best horse will come out on top. So that barrier draw will be crucial next week.
It sure will. All right. Thanks to Michael Young for coming on. Thanks to for Bomber Hill. Thanks to Amelia for pressing all the buttons. And Ollie, thank you for filling into Mortz. And as I said, we might get you off the bench again next week if Mortz is unable to come in. But thanks everyone for listening. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.